Chat, what is good? Welcome back to an all-new track review here on my channel. If you don't know, my name is TAETRO. I'm an electronic music producer, beat maker, content creator, educator, all that good stuff. Thank you for being here. Happy Saturday. I hope you're having a great weekend. It's Saturday morning for me, or Saturday afternoon, I guess you could say. And I'm excited to listen to some independent electronic music from all over the world. Today, which is what we do every track review stream. We do this twice a month. If you want to become a member by hitting the join button down below, you can become a part of our Discord community and submit music for these track feedback streams. It's a really supportive community, but you also get your music played on stream. I give it some feedback, chat gives it some feedback, all that good stuff. Very important announcement though. It is indeed STK's birthday. Let's go. I've never pushed that button before, so I hope it wasn't too loud, but shout out to SDK, a longtime community member. Happy birthday. Wish SDK happy birthday in chat, please. Of course, we've listened to lots of SDK's music on the streams before. And you know what, SDK? It is your birthday. I know we reviewed one of your tracks last track review, and we usually do one track per person per month. But since it's your birthday, if you want to throw a track in the Discord feed, happy to play it for you today in honor of your birthday, so everybody can hear some of your music. Appreciate that super chat, dude. Did not have to send a super chat on your birthday. The Latro super chat. And thank you so much to James Wislow production with the $5 super chat. You guys don't super chat me, go super chat his channel. That doesn't make any sense. But thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. We're going to have a good time listening to some music. I've got submissions via Discord. If you are new here and you're not quite sure how to submit, we do prioritize channel members. However, the reason that we do this twice a month and not once a month is because that there are lots of channel members and we have to spill over a little bit. Sometimes at the end of this second stream here, we have time to do some non-member reviews. So you just have to stick around, chill, have a good time. And then if you are not a member or not able to become a member, we may have time to listen to some non-member tracks. But the only way to guarantee getting your track heard is by submitting on Discord by becoming a member. So thank you so much. Some stuff today before we get into it. I ran a poll and I would greatly appreciate it if you would vote in it if you had not yet. Let me show it to you really quick. Working on a new apparel launch. What do you want to see? Amazingly, 48% people. This is less than 400 people voted. Never buying merch. Peace and love. Not everybody's able to buy merch. Seems like hoodies are very popular. I also ran this poll on Instagram if you want to vote there on my Instagram story as well. But hoodies are most popular in both polls that I've run. T-shirts seems to be the least exciting. There were some very good comments. This is a good one. Lisa P echoing the statement of hoodies, beanies. A lot of people asking about beanies. Chat, can you react to that? Are beanies a good idea? Diana, of course, saying beanies. A lot of people seconding it. Silverback Ringtan, Arcade Records. Stickers would be awesome. Yes, that's in the pipeline as well. Caps, yes. Hats. People want hats. I think without a doubt, we would definitely do t-shirts. However, t-shirts are easy because we can put the same graphic on a t-shirt that goes on a hoodie. But we got some... Oh, brimless caps. Yes, but I need to find a provider for that. So yes, working on new apparel, and I want to do a launch around, I'm sure you all have heard, but Beattober is right around the corner. We've got some designs in the works happening, and I want this Beattober to be the biggest Beattober ever. Not just in the amount of people that are participating, but in kind of what Beattober will be all about this year. So just stay tuned for that. We're nailing down details. And I want you all to be a part of it. I think it's a cool way for you to all be a part of it and be a part of something cool, like a bigger cause, perhaps. So just stay tuned for that. We're hoping to have a good Beattober this year. If you don't know, Beattober is like for the month of October, we challenge ourselves to make a beat video every single day. or, you know, as much as possible. I will be doing 31 beat videos for the month of October. If you want to say, okay, I'm going to do 15, whatever pushes you, but try to do it daily. I think it's cool. Do we need to sign up? Says Oyama. You don't need to sign up. We're working on the mechanisms though. So stay tuned for that. MIDI pillow, says Gab. Beatober is for sure going to be bomb. But just get ready, because I want Beatober to be a big success. I want the apparel that comes with Beatober to be a big success, and I'm going to do the apparel as a limited run. It's not going to be out forever. It's only going to be out probably ahead of time, a little bit ahead of Beatober, and then it's when it sells out, it sells out. We're going to do a limited quantity, so get ready. But yeah, that's what's happening. I posted a video on Instagram today, a beat video. I'll show it to you all. Had a lot of fun. It was with the friends over at Sierra Nevada, which is a beer company. So this is the video. Let me show it to you in a moment. I had a different concept originally for this video, but we had to change it. So I'm having a lot of fun making reels. I didn't expect it to explode. But yeah, that's the video I put up today. If you want to go show some love, I would appreciate it. Throw some engagement my way on that post. It was really cool to get that sponsorship. So yeah, what's up, Nefertiti? Shout out to all my members in chat, by the way. Thank you all for being here. Gab says, I love your earth tones. Thank you, Gab. More to come on that for sure too. Members in the chat, thank you all for being here. I want to shout you out. That's the cool people with the badges next to their names. We got STK, Ayush, Joseph McCaffrey, obviously, Amelia S, Billboard Shaw, Winslow Productions. Thank you for being here. Rashane, hello. Amateur Bear, what's up, Amateur Bear? Lisa P is here. Thank you for being here. Who else? We got some background music or what? My mom and dad are in the chat, honorary members, of course. John Cozen, Digit Hixie renewing the membership. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I saw that right before the stream went live. And I think I got everybody. Superman is here as well. Hello. Thank you. All right. We got some tracks to listen to, my friends. So sit back. I hope you all have a cold beverage with you. I got myself some water. We're not going to go like for the full 3 hours that we usually go for the initial first of the month stream, but we'll go for as long as we can. Basically, I can't take a bathroom break if Joseph McCaffrey's not here, so we'll go as long as possible. So please stay tuned. Keep an eye on the Instagram. Vote in that poll if you can on the community tab. Vote on the poll on my Instagram story. I also did a painting last night. You can see the painting that I did on my Instagram story as well. Hi, Slime Vibes. I see you. Hi, B Jammin. What's good? Sorry if I missed anybody in the chat. But nonetheless, oh, and we got a new member in the chat. New member, Soy Chunky Bacon. Thank you, Soy Chunky Bacon, for being here. Connect your Discord to your Instagram. No. Connect your Discord to your... What am I trying to say, chat? Chat, somebody finish it in the chat. What am I trying to say? Connect in Discord your YouTube channel, your YouTube account, and then you'll be in the Discord. Sheesh, I can't even talk today. We're going to kick things off. I'm going out of order, by the way, just for this. We're going to kick things off with the birthday producer himself, STK. Thank you for submitting today. Let's give a listen to Does It Even Matter? Quite existential on your birthday, my friend. Very strong track to start with, I'm sure. guitar from STK. Whose voice? Is it you, STK? Or is it a sample? It's almost like a Bon Iver vibe. We rarely hear in your music. Post-rock vibes. Don Cozen, that's a good call. Very like cigar rose kind of thing. Soy chunky bacon said the same thing. I love it, STK. It makes me want to get out on the road and make some music. Very much sounds like music inspired by a road trip. It's your voice, STK. Fantastic work as usual. Thank you for sharing that track. I just wanted to play that. First up, because it's your birthday, you know. Happy birthday, my friend. Thank you for bringing the smooth vibes as usual. If you all can, go to STK's SoundCloud, give him a follow. But also, you can go to all the usual streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and all that. Go show some support for his birthday. It's beautiful music anyway. Get yourself some beautiful music. Give a worthy artist some support. Thank you, STK, for throwing that track in there. Good to hear like an unreleased piece. Beautiful. Thank you, STK. Daniel Braga says, hi, I arrived now, and how can I post my beat? Daniel, you can submit your beat by hitting that join button right below the stream. Joining at any level gets you access to the Discord, and you can submit via the Discord by linking your YouTube and your Discord account. And by the way, if you do join and you have any issues with that, just say hi in chat and let us know, and the chat will help you figure it out. We're going to keep rolling and listening to some tracks. The first up, I'm just going to go with what's here in Discord. We're going to listen to a track by Andre Von Zark. Oyama says, SDK is such a homie, hops on my stream to support. Love you, dude. Yes, Ed, I've been like peeking at the streams like after they're live. I usually don't catch them live, but good work. Keep streaming live. Keep working on like the tech stuff and everything, because that's the only way you get better at it. And the content, the wholesome content with the family, I think is very inspiring too. Anyway, let's keep going with music to listen to. The next track is submitted by Andre Von Zark, and it's called Time to Go to Bed. But I just woke up. My friend, don't put that at the end. That's what I can tell you. This is a very nice, moody track. And then that thing at the end just makes it sound like... I don't want this to sound too harsh, but like this track does not give off amateur vibes until that moment. That definitely doesn't need to be there. Take that out. So yeah, what I was saying before about this track is like the very dark synth ambient stuff, which kind of builds from here. You build up this atmosphere at the beginning, and then later, when the percussion finally comes in, you get this very poppy, that very poppy rhythm, which is this juxtaposition of dark sounds and poppy kind of feel, which I really like. Good job on that. I really love the bell sounds. I really love the sound selection overall in this song. I would say probably by the 1 minute 30, 1 minute 40 mark, I was hoping for maybe something new. And I think there's room for probably one more layer, a brighter bell or glockenspiel melody on top. That's the thing that I think was missing. Otherwise, If the goal was to just have a track that kind of stays at one speed the whole time, it's successful at that. If you want it to evolve a little more towards the end, adding an instrument with a little bit more energy, some bright bells, a lead melody, something like that. But it is called Time to Go to Bed, and I like that sort of floaty, moody, dark vibe for going to bed. And yeah, for the rhythm, listen to that again. If you could lean a little bit more into the rhythmic features, that's another strength of this track as well. Thank you, Andre Von Zark, for that submission. Yeah, folks, this goes for everybody. Don't go putting weird tags in your songs. Actually, don't put tags at all. Your name is in the title. Unless you need to like put a watermark or something for whatever, just stop putting tags in your songs. All right, Joseph says I need to check my DMs for the next one. Got you. Already trolling. We love to see it. Fia, where are you at? I already saw you in chat. I just can't click on this for some reason. There we go. Next up, Fia. Fia, I know you submitted last time, but I don't think you were able to be on stream. So here we are, listening to your track. Made a song about my beloved cat named Uno. It's been a year. I made the song because I refuse to forget my precious family Uno. She's just a cat, but those past 6 years together, she really put our stress away. Hug your cat while you can cherish them. Wow. Nothing gets me like pet stuff, bro. The Memoji Kid. How do I submit music? You submit music by hitting that join button down below, joining at any tier, and submitting your music via our Discord. Thanks for joining us today. Here we go. Via, let's listen to it. Sleep tight. It's interesting sound design. Wait, is that Uno choosing citizenship? What a good cat. It's great that you have all this footage. Same. Wait, should I get a cat? We miss Uno. Thank you, Fia, for submitting that. That was a really beautiful submission there. We don't normally get submissions like that. I'm not going to critique the music too much, but something that's very, very strong here is you're able to use your musical ability. Music is all about expression, right? Emotion, expression. This is obviously that come to fruition. It's something unique about us as artists. We can use it to, you know, help bring good memories. We can use it to honor people, animals that we love that have passed, all that good stuff. So it's like having a superpower being a musician, I think. I really like the lo-fi kind of sound design. It goes really well with the visuals. Just to talk a little bit about the overall sound of the piece. But I think it's beautiful. It's minimal. It's nice. It's sweet. Also, if you just catch this, is that live open? In this shot, it's like, are you making music with the cat on the floor? I like that. But all right, Uno. We don't have to be sad, but we can honor Uno all together. Everybody, cheers emojis, please. Cheers. Raise a glass. Whether it's champagne or beer or coffee, raise the glass in chat. Emojis, please. Cheers to Uno. Pour one out for Uno today. Great video. I love that. And you should continue to do stuff like that. You know, it is tough losing a pet, a loved one, all that good stuff. And you're going to be very happy in the future that you made this video. This is like a memory. This is like a home video memory. I have a video on my channel with my great-grandmother from her 100th birthday that I'm really glad that I made. And it doesn't necessarily make sense that it's on my channel. It's like a vlog, right? But I'm still really happy that I made it. I'm happy I can go back and watch it on my channel, you know? So it's cool. Pouring out. Cheers. Thank you, Fia, for that submission. Beautiful submission today. All right, we got some more to go through. I saw some more people asking. Just make sure exclamation point, whatever that command is, exclamation point track review. Yep, and that will give you the directions on how to submit. But let's keep on going. The next submission I have is by Shrouded Archer. I believe, yes. Oh, this one's much louder. All right, let's give this one a listen. This one's over on SoundCloud. As usual, please throw some love to the creators if you like their music. Let's give a listen. Hymn for Portland. Shout out to Portland. Should we take a road trip? Oh, hi, John Cozen. Beisha, what's up? All right. Oh, wait. Thank you so much for that submission, John Cozen, aka Unmarked Vans. Let me run it back. Cool little soundscape you have going here. Obviously, the vocal chops being the center point of this track with congas, cool rhythmic stuff, that deeper kick as well. Some sidechain action, I think, too. Is it like a 909 kit or something? Messaging wise, I'd say there's something a little bit odd. It seems like you're trying to bring awareness to some like human trafficking situation, but your name is Unmarked Vans, which would put you on the side of the enemy. So I would just think about that conceptually. I don't know if that concept really holds. I think the vocal chop is very cool. There's like this very like ominous thing going on. I'm trying to really visualize it with like a town of Portland, Oregon. Almost is making me think of like Fargo kind of vibes. So one thing is like how are you gonna elevate and evolve this track over time? It sort of stays with this vocal chop as the main focal point the entire time. Can you maybe pass it to a new melody halfway through towards the end? Maybe create some kind of dissecting B section, not dissecting, some contrasting B section is what I'm trying to say. Of course, that's really important because you have these ominous strings come in. I can imagine a moment where the drums actually fully drop and the ominous strings sort of take over, and then we go back into the vocal chop thing too. And don't forget to use, not everything has to be happening all the time. Feel free to use moments of silence or moments of pulling back on instrumentation rather than adding, because once this track gets going, it never kind of lets up until the end here. But do a little bit more with this vocal chop situation because I think it sounds good. I think you could do a little bit more with the pitch and stuff on it for sure. A bridge, something would make it more diverse. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be necessarily a bridge. You can just kind of convert the structure into A, B, A instead of just kind of A all the way through. But I do think the juxtaposition of the congas against like the techno vocal chop, something else to experiment with to make it a little less repetitive, but maybe not reinvent the wheel, is to just sort of completely filter out those vocal things. Not completely filter them out, but filter out a lot of the high end so that they kind of become this background pad thing. That could be helpful as well. And just one layer of energy you could add. We never get like a true, there's some shaker in there, but we never get like a steady shaker hi-hat or something. And something like that is really important to push momentum. So consider adding a sort of repeated layer like that, like 16th note hi-hats or something like that. Thank you for that submission, John. Appreciate it. And appreciate you being a member for so long. Look at that membership badge. You got that Mars theme. Only few have that at the moment. Beisha, are you still in chat? I need to know. We're going to keep rolling, listening to some music. The next thing I have is by Amateur Bear. Amateur Bear, have I listened to your music before? I know you've been a member for a little while, but I don't recognize the name in the context of SoundCloud. Nonetheless, let's give a listen. Amateur Bear with Aruba Gold. Aruba Gold is a great place. I mean, Aruba is a great place, right? Beautiful place to vacation, I would say. Thank you for your first submission, Amateur Bear. That's a cool little transition. Is this about to become a house track? We got those Crash Bandicoot marimba thing in the background. It's not every month, Shane, it's length of time. I think the Mars one is 6 months. Wait, Crash Bandicoot's on Switch? Amateur Bear, thank you for submitting. Cool little Sonic world you have going here. All right, let's talk about that. Vocal sample is obviously really fantastic, so good job with that. I want to talk about some of the strengths of the track first. I think the sound selection is pretty good. I like that marimba. I like it juxtaposed against those harder hitting drums. And I also like some of the stuff you did with the transitions, like here. And I wish there was a little bit more of that too. It's cool to have these different chapters in your track. But you notice how you have a really strong first chapter that morphs into something new. Cool, keeps me interested as a listener, but then continues on the same for the next 2 minutes. So how do we bring some of this magic down the line over here? It's a big thing I'm noticing today is folks got to work on keeping the track interesting throughout. Then there's interesting little things like the vocal shout here. I assume that's like a vocal shout, that little transitional sound. Very cool. Very unique sound selection. Some things to improve. There's some stuff going on with the harmony here that doesn't make too much sense and doesn't sound all that great. So some of it sounds really good and strong, like here. Sounds good. But there, something's happening where there's sort of like an interval off, almost like you probably used a synth that instead of when you play one note, it plays one note. When you play one note, it plays a third or a seventh or something. I would definitely avoid using those kinds of synths, or at least using them sparingly, because they're going to mess up the harmony of your track. If I play a C and it plays a major seventh, which is a B, and I'm playing in the key of C, that's fine. But if I play a D and it plays a major seventh interval and it plays a C sharp above that, it's not going to sound good, because that C sharp is not in the key, you know what I mean? So that's why those types of instruments I try to avoid like the plague. And I think that all software plugin makers, synth makers, whatever, if you make a sound that has these freaking intervals on it, you need to have an option to turn it off. That's plain and simple. So many times I really like the sound, but I can't use it because it's like automatically playing an interval. So anyway, yes, I really like that vocal sample that repeats. That's very cool. But you just want to be careful with this harmony thing, because the harmony thing also rears its head with some of the marimba instrument as well. I feel as though the marimba is not quite playing in key. Some of those notes are just straight up not in key. So I definitely take a closer look at the harmony of this track. I talk about this all the time, but not reinventing the wheel. If you're playing in a key, stay in that key. If you want to modulate, great. But we're not going to say, I'm in the key of whatever. I'm in the key of C, but I'm just going to play a couple notes that are not in the key of C. We're not just going to do that arbitrarily. There's ways to go in and out of key in a way that makes sense. If you're not familiar, you're not trained in a way of doing that, don't do it so that it's just random. Or maybe it was even unintentional. But even if you're trying to create dissonance, there's ways to create dissonance diatonically rather than chromatically. And I think this track would be very, very strong if we just lock in all those instruments on key. But otherwise, you have very good sense of sound design. Sound selection is what I meant to say. And I very much like the sounds that you chose. One last thing I'll say is that kick is not hitting hard enough. Sounds like the drums or the kick especially, is a bit over compressed. Make sure your kick is cutting through. And I know there's some side chaining going on there, but make sure like the kick isn't side chaining itself. You know what I mean? It almost sounds like that could be happening. In live, throw a little bit of drum bus on the kick, add that sub frequency in. You'll get a much deeper kick for sure. Because that kick's got a lot of top end on it. But otherwise, thank you so much for that first submission, Amateur Bear. I hope to hear more of your music in the future. Good track. Keeping it rolling. Fia, thank you so much for updating your membership. I don't know if the membership automatically renews or what, or how that works. Oh, it must, because I'm a member of one channel, and I don't have to tell it to renew every month. Okay, next up. Aika. Oh, this is on Instagram. That's different. Okay, Aika Music on Instagram. We got a little video to watch, so let's do it. Cool. Guitar. Got some Spitfire sounds happening in here. Oh, it's not actually a video. There. You gotta have jazz in your blood for that. Well, yeah, peace and love. More awesome guitar today. Ika says, just want to get some feedback to know if it's good enough for putting out on streaming. Well, so far so good. Building here. Nice. Very strong composition, Ika. Thank you for submitting that. We don't often get scores like this, but I'm so happy to hear another one from you. First of all, I love the you know, putting together guitar plus orchestra. It sounds really good. I know that Hans Zimmer does that a lot. A lot of composers are doing that a lot. You think of the Nightcrawler score, that very kind of California and Los Angeles type score that very heavily features like a clean electric guitar. Very, very cool. So I think there's a couple things. I think the mix could for sure improve. I know on the ADSR channel, Jane, I forget her last name, Jane Arneson, is that the name? She just did a mixing tutorial that I was kind of lurking on, and it was around like an orchestral mix. So I do highly recommend you head over to the ADSR channel and just watch that stream, I think from last week or the week before perhaps, but she did a really good job on that. So I would just definitely take another look at the mix, because there's certain things like your sound stage, like these strings all sound like they're in the same place. I think there could be a little bit more done to kind of pan them around a little bit. Maybe there is a little bit of panning there. Some of the deeper cello can come back to the center. I also think those timpanis aren't hitting hard enough, so I don't know if they need to get backed also by like a big bass drum or something. Not like a slam and bass drum, but just something with a little more robust low end. Also think about like flourishes. I want you to go like study some of your favorite scores and notice that even though some of them have, you basically have three elements happening in this section right now. That string line the long string line, and the guitar. Those are those three things happening, but there's no little like incidental things happening, which is very, very common and very much separates sort of more basic orchestral compositions versus more advanced orchestral compositions. So go back and listen to some reference music and listen to the stuff that's not the main idea, that are not the three main things happening. The thing that only happens once every 16 bars. Whatever those things may be, figure out what they are. Sometimes they're just a little simple string line, a little call and response situation, whatever it may be. And I also think if you want to build up drama, you want to have a very dramatic moment right here at 240, do a more abrupt cut. Like literally kill all the sound. Cymbal rolls. We need more cymbal rolls. Like it's the same thing as risers with electronic music, right? Something that builds up that tension but cuts abruptly. A lot more drama. I also will make one suggestion, and this you can just try out, and if you don't like it or if you don't care for it, whatever, piano. I think that this track could use a little bit of piano, and I wonder what happens. The plucked guitar part. Dun, 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 dun. What happens if you just back that on piano higher up an octave and kind of blend them together? I bet it would sound pretty cool, even if it only happened at the end here. Something to think about. But Aika, very beautiful score. Would love to hear more of it. You should definitely for sure also think about if you're releasing this kind of music. Of course, if you have an artist name where you're releasing like epic orchestral music, it's not going to make a lot of sense if you one day want to release like lo-fi hip hop. So I just very much be cognizant of that when you release this kind of music. If I go to your Spotify profile and you're always releasing epic orchestral music, great, I know what to expect. But if all of a sudden you release a trappy, I'm like, what the heck is this? So you probably want to build a separate artist profile for a very distinct genre, you know? Not necessarily the piano as a counter melody. I want the piano playing I just want to back that initial plucked guitar melody. Doesn't always have to be a counter or something different. And I have to sneeze. Nope. God, I'm dying, chat. But yes, what a great day of original electronic music from all around the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are new here, we do these track review streams twice a month, prioritizing members of the channel. So if you want to submit your music, become a part of a great Discord community, and also get a free sample pack, you can click the join button down below, check out the different membership tiers, and join us for the fun. Nonetheless, we're going to keep moving on. Rashane is up next. Rashane. Let's go. I struggle with clicking on things in Discord. But thanks, y'all, for hanging out. Rashane, copacetic kid. We got the 80802 demo. Make this in 2002. Let's give it a listen. Rashane in the house. Tonio, you can literally find that answer that question literally anywhere. Go on Amazon, type in audio interface, and buy one. Stop asking. Oh, it's a summertime jam? I love the just like pulling back to just the guitar and drums there and just like laying back. Rashane, where did the guitar sample come from? Or did you play, or what's happening? cool. Just like a cool vibe overall. Rashane, thank you for submitting that. All right, so yeah, like I said, the vibe is just cool. You got the guitar, you got the simple drums, and you got those melodies. I know you said you wanted feedback on the melodies, so I think that's, we'll talk about that in a minute. Here's what I'll say about the guitar. The guitar mixing-wise could use some help. I think something that's important with guitar, it's from a sample pack, maybe Splice, and then I played around with effects on it. Cool, yeah. Don't overdo it on the effects, because at some points in this, it sounds like the guitar is just straight up like peaking a little bit, like overly distorted. And you don't need to take it too far out. Also, it occasionally sounds a little bit out of time, so just make sure, just go in and maybe do a little bit of warping just to make sure it's aligned. And the other thing is too, the guitar is seemingly the feature, but you have all these other cool, like floaty, almost flute-like melodies on there. Also, the guitar could use some compression for sure. But we want to kind of get the guitar out of the middle and be more a part of the scenery if we are going to have those center melodies on top. So for a guitar like this, it wouldn't be uncommon to double it and spread it left and right. So basically making a left channel and a right channel version of this guitar, slightly displacing them over time, and then maybe even slightly detuning one of them to give it a bit of a, you have a phasery kind of thing on it. I would do more of like a chorus to thicken it. But what it does is if you move the guitar to be like this instead of just like this, you make room for those cool melodies that you want to do on top. You think of when you're in a room with a band just jamming, cool, the band and the sound is like surrounding you. As soon as you add a singer to that, it draws your attention to the band, it draws your attention to the performance. It's something in the center to focus on rather than just part of the atmosphere. And I do feel like the guitar is basically part of the atmosphere. I think it's a double and pan. Yes, dig. I think it's a little bit left, a little bit right. One of them you're going to displace off the timeline by milliseconds. You're also going to detune one of them, and that'll give you a nice thick sound. You also want to make sure you're EQing them properly. With guitar, a lot of subtractive EQ, because guitar can sound very, very boxy. So you want to bring that, get very narrow EQ bands, bring them up so you can hear where are some of those annoying frequencies. Just scan across the frequency spectrum. Like I heard one right there. Hear how that kind of, we almost get that brassy sort of distortion. You're gonna find where that is, just pull it out. And some of that boxiness. Taking out boxiness will make your guitar sound a lot clearer. The melody is really good. I just wish it was a little more front and center. Like, it's simple, obviously, but that bang, bang, I really like. It's strong. See that right there, and then going up, doing that thematically, very, very good melody, I would say. But that really only happens here and at the beginning. So what can you do if you really want to bring attention to that melody? Obviously, getting the center cleared out to give it its time to shine will help a lot. But maybe the first version is just the flute. Maybe the second version is an octave up, or both. It's both octaves. Or maybe it's another instrument playing an octave up to bring attention to that melody. It's almost a way to solidify and say, yeah, this is what I meant to say. This is definitely the melody that I want. I'm playing it on two instruments. Bring your ear to it, you know? But it's a good melody for sure. I could definitely bring the field recording down a bit, and maybe scoop out some of the mids so that there's atmosphere happening, but it's not occupying all that mid-range space. Thank you for that submission, Rashane. Very cool summer vibe. Appreciate the submission. Those are good guitar samples too, so that's a good find. All right, let's keep rolling. Yeah, so Tonio, you're asking those questions in chat, and it's like, that's A, not what we're doing here on stream, and B, coming to this chat and asking questions that you basically already know the answer to, or you would know the answer if you just did a tiny bit of Googling, tiny bit of like doing some research for yourself. and not asking other people to do the research or explain themselves to you is going to get you a lot further. And I know some people are trying to be helpful in chat and answering, but sometimes when people ask questions that they can very much find the answers on their own, when we answer those questions, they never learn to do something on their own, unfortunately. So just be aware of that. We are a welcoming community. We are all trying to help each other. But you know how this goes. All right. Ayush. Rasheen killing it this week. Trophy. Well done. Yeah, for sure. Ayush with Car Park. Straight out of Koala Sampler. We love that. Oh. I'm picturing this as like a video game where it's like a parking game where you have to like avoid precarious situations. And this was the music for it. Cool rhythmic things going on for sure. You can ask that because it's coming up in conversation. It's part of what we're actually doing here. All right, cool. Thank you, Ayush. This is very another kind of different vibe track of what you usually do. I love like the crunchy sort of 8-bit feel of it. I love the playfulness of it. I love the close sounds. You all know I really like reverb and washing and ambient stuff, but this being a very like tight, bright track, I like that. I also like that kind of aesthetic as well. The instrument that I don't like is like the one that happens the whole time. It's like a bass. No, it's not there. That bass or that synth. I just don't understand the notes that it's playing. It doesn't fit. If you had just added one more, if you had swapped that for like a proper bass or something, this track would be 10 times stronger. Also, you know what it's missing is like a turnaround. So what do I mean by a turnaround? Like a little chord progression thing that will happen at the end of every 4 or 8 bars to sort of push the momentum. Because right now it's just kind of straightforward, like this kind of groove the whole time. But now what if on this last time we swapped into a chord instrument that went dum, 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 or something like that. Just make it slightly more musical. Not that this track is not musical, but there are definitely elements that are... There are non-musical elements coming together to create something musical. And I think if you juxtapose a little bit more musicality in it, like a little bit more of a traditional synth here and there, it might push this track to the next level. Because there is that like sugary pop sound that a lot of tracks use that use this kind of 8-bit clean aesthetic, but what they all have is this interjection of like very sweet melody and harmonies amongst this sort of 8-bit crunchy clean aesthetic, you know? So I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good day as well, my friend. Dun, 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 dun. Just like a little turnaround or something to keep things going. But I understand the limits of Koala Sampler, of course. I think Koala Sampler is cool. And it's cool that you're able to make this. This actually sounds really clean coming out of an app. It for sure says Just McCaffrey feels longer than it is because of the lack of musical elements. For sure. Now imagine if it just had even just a pad in the background that pushed some harmony and then adding a more steady 16th note hi-hat with a melody on top. Boom. Suddenly you have a song. This is just sort of like this collection of sounds that are coming together to make a groove. But what's going to make it a song, you know? Koala Sampler seems just an iPhone thing, not a Mac thing. I thought they just put it out on Mac. I'm not sure. Yeah. All right, good track, Ayush. Thank you. Love that. All right, couple more to go. I am holding on by a thread, chat. I'm holding on by a thread here. I think I can make it. Digit HXI, who just renewed their membership, I believe. Let's give a listen to this track. Oh, this is so dope. Right off the bat. I want donuts. This is tension, anticipation, right? You need a sticker on this, my friend. Nice. No common beats. We're gonna get to your track. This is definitely like old school emo influence. Oh, interesting. The drums sound really good. I wonder what drum kit it is. Busy Raccoon, welcome to the fam. Double clap. Nice. Chat, what I want you to pay attention to is how you can see from looking at the waveform that this is not a boring track. That there was some thought put into the arrangement. And that is what a lot of people are struggling with today, is arrangement. Stop taking the one loop you have and not doing anything. Like I can make a very cool 3, 4, 5 minute track out of an A section and just like do cool things with bringing ideas in and out, but not necessarily create A, B, C sections. It is possible. But you have to be very thoughtful with it. Look at these distinct sections. Look at the transitions between the sections. Look at how it culminates in the end. Look at how it ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. Like, if you don't have any of that, if you and you have nothing interesting happening with your transitions, it turns out your track's probably boring. Or it's just meant to be like ambient meditation music, which is equally like valid. But I'm just saying, it's a dead giveaway. First of all, I love this style. I'm partial to this style, of course, because I come from like the
you know, that emo kind of pop punk world. All the sounds sound super clean. You notice how every 4 bars, we're getting a little something new on top. We're not reinventing the wheel. Not 100 things going on. All these parts are working together. That sort of abrupt stop is really great because we know something's about to come. And it's higher energy than what came before. That's applied by the melody being doubled on like a higher synth or guitar. Simples are also going crazy. That fill is fantastic. And then we have blast beats. The thing that I might think about changing is this section is kind of just a copy paste, right? So you want to take this to the next step, the next level. I would almost save the blast beats section. I would only do that at the end. And then I might try to bring something that brings a little bit more energy to the end. Like one like high string layer, a high pad layer, a high synth layer, not like dominating, but just a held high note would make the end even more epic. I also think you do these abrupt transitions, which are pretty effective for building tension. I also like this bass section. This reminds me of like AFI or something. You can, of course, do these abrupt changes, but you can also signal to the listener that a change is coming. Like, so it could be as simple as a little bit of a fill, don't, or something here. And then you could do it on that end. You could also do it on this end. There could for sure be a fill before this chorus hits. Heard, check Discord. I would love to hear music like this. I think there's definitely an audience for music like this, for sure. Like cool instrumentals, so I hope you make more like this. If you do, I'm going to be sure to check it out. Wait, did you say that there's vocals coming on it and I missed it? Let us know. Maybe it's not. I think it works very well as an instrumental, but it could work very well with a vocalist too. Good work, my friend. Nice track. I'm checking my Discord. I think I can make it. Yeah, that's an easy clap. Exactly, for sure. All right. That is the vibe. Absolutely. We're going to keep going. I've got 3 more submissions here in the chat. If you did just become a member, is that Busy Raccoon that I saw? Did I make that up? Busy Raccoon, sorry. If you do want to submit, make sure you get on that ASAP. Sakai always bringing some good vibes. So let's give it a listen. Very good art. I wonder if you took this yourself. If you did, shout out to you. I love that. Hi, Busy Raccoon. Let us know if you are submitting or if you have already. You did take it yourself. Amazing. Shot sound. Oh, and that's yeah. very subdued and subtle, but also beautiful track. Fantastic sound selection. What are these bells, Amelia? That. Awesome. Let's run it back. Beautiful sounds here as usual. Subtle, drifty. I feel emotions through it. Very good job with the lo-fi feel of it. And then, but there's also those synths too, right? But you notice how there's no, everything fits together. I keep coming back to this. You guys got to be careful with your sound selection. Make sure the sounds all fit together. There might be some clean guitar, some drums, and then also some synths in here. But they all fit in the same world, despite the fact that one's a machine, one is a physical, like, acoustic instrument, essentially. And then the others are like acoustic percussion. They all fit in the same world. It's very, very important. One sound that does stick out to me, I think it's about to come in here. This piano line stuck out to me as sort of not belonging. And it's only that opening phrase. I think those notes, that initial prang, that bleeds over itself a little too much. I also think maybe that piano could use a little bit of space on it, a little bit of reverb, but here it sounds pretty good. I just wish it was a little longer. Also, as usual, we want to be careful with lo-fi music and everything going through that mid-range of frequencies. Carve out a space in your mix for all these different sounds, which I think a lot of these sounds have their own space, but I did feel like the piano was getting lost in the mud a little bit. If you want to liven up some of these melodies too, because some of this, like this bell melody, is a very beautiful sound, but it's very straight. Dong, 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 dong. Some of it's very straight. So I might consider adding like a little bit of a ping pong delay on it. Just to add some bounce or something to it instead of having it be just straight, quarter notes. The last thing I'll say, I think the track is about 30 seconds too long. I think it's... So what happens here, this is very satisfying here. I honestly think this could be the end of the track. Instead of coming back on this beat, I think coming back to this backbeat here doesn't make a ton of sense. It's kind of odd. Because it's not nearly as high energy as what came before it. So I literally think at 207, that drop that we're about to hit, I think you just introduce this at 207 and you still slowly start filtering things out. Because this is not very high energy and this is like what would be the pinnacle of your track. But if you start sort of a slower ending here, it sort of seems more fitting. So instead of bringing back in the backbeat here, I think you just bring in these sweet tones and go out like that, in my opinion, rather than bring the backbeat back. Because I think everything's been so strong leading up to that moment. To bring it back, it sort of starts to feel a little stale. However, if you did want to bring the backbeat back at some point, coming out of this slower section, I think you would have to do something to make it higher energy. one more guitar line with like more motion or something. Otherwise, I just cut this section, boom, put this section in place of it, call the track 2 minutes 30 instead of 2:57. Something to think about. Saikai, Amelia, I really always enjoy your music, so I hope that you start to release on proper streaming. Well, SoundCloud is a proper streaming platform, but on things like Spotify and stuff, you should start getting your music out there, because I know you're kind of early in your music production journey, but your music is very good. So please start submitting or start putting more and more out there. Okay, Common Beats, you are up. Common Beats, what's up with this Google Drive situation? You don't got a SoundCloud like everybody else? Can't send me a private link or something? Nonetheless, the man, the myth, the legend, Go Blackpool, Common Beats with EDM Mix 1. First of all, Common Beats, you've been a member for a long time. You're a very strong producer. I'm going to be harsh on you. I'm just going to tell you that. But let's listen to the music first. I'm sure the music's going to be great. Track on stream, very cool. Listening on speakers for a moment. Oh, it's your vocal, huh? Cool. Get rid of the phaser. That's my roast. I love that. Is that like a little guitar or something? Like muted guitar? Common Beats. Ooh, atmospheres. All right, so let's lay into it. Common Beats, the only reason I'm going to lay into this is because you're a very capable producer and you're working very hard at your production. First of all, how are you going to label your tracks EDM_mix1? What happens when you go make 10 more EDM tracks? You got to go find this one now? Okay, second of all, I think the sound selection is really good. I think the song, the melodies and ideas are really good. The chord progression is great. There's certain things in the mix that I do not agree with, like there's like a phaser on one of these instruments. It's like on the melody track. So to me, all a phaser does, especially when it's like overused and misused, is like you have like high frequencies, you have low frequencies, you have like the frequency spectrum of your instrument, right? And then you have all this junk in the middle that it doesn't really need to have. All a phaser does is increase the amount of times your sound is just dipping into that muddy frequency range. So I don't know. I just don't hear phaser on major elements of tracks. And the other day, people were like, "Oh, put a phaser on it. Put a phaser on it on my stream," and I just don't understand where that comes from because I do not hear phaser in general, the music that I listen to, or generally in electronic music. Or I definitely don't hear it in this kind of context where it's like, if you throw just a straight up phaser without doing any kind of subtractive EQ, without doing any kind of like paying attention to what frequencies that instrument is passing through, you just get it. It's here, it's nice, it's muddy, it's muddy, it's muddy, it's over here, it's fine, it's over here again, oh, it's muddy again, oh, it's over here. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. No effects for the sake of effects. And that's not like a specific thing for like you. I mean, it is for that particular element, but not saying that you do that a lot or anything. Just in general advice. And of course, this is on Google Drive, so I can't actually hit play. Hello? Thank you. Okay, also, I believe it was Ayush's track, the orchestral one, that was suffering kind of a similar thing. What would a phaser be used for? I actually don't understand it at all, I realize. Then you don't need to. Until you watch a production tutorial and your favorite producer says, I got the phaser on this track, I use it on all my leads, it's like a really amazing thing. Until you see that, just because something is in your library or something is in your arsenal does not mean you have to use it. Phaser is good on lightly driven guitars, yes, but like how often do you actually hear that? And also like how subtle is it usually? It's usually dialed back a ton. Okay. Anyway, so what I was saying about Ayush's track, referencing that, the orchestral one, the advice that I gave Ayush was like, okay, you have like your core elements, but like there's none of that special sauce happening around it. And I think that this track suffers from that as well. You have really strong core elements, right? Chord progression, beat, melody, bass line. You have it. But when you listen to more advanced tracks, they have that bells and whistles element, which of course, if you made this on stream yesterday, like I understand that, of course. You make all your core elements and then you add all the cool stuff later. But I think that's what this track needs. You need to like beef up some of these transitions, stutter effects here and there, little incidental melodies that happen, little calls and responses. Whether it's a beat repeat in certain instances, you know, another top layer that makes the track special and doesn't just make it like, okay, chords, beat, melody the whole time. We know what to expect after a while, you know? A finish. Oh, I meant Ica. Yeah, my bad. I meant Ica. Sorry. Because Ayush just done orchestral stuff, so that's why. I did mean Ica. So I hope that you get what I mean there. Because your sounds are good, the musical ideas are good, but like, what makes a good track great? This is the thing. Like we always, in our music production journey, we want to make good music. We're on this quest to make good music. So we learn how to make good music, and then we never actually learn how to make great music. Happens to all of us, because the layer above a good track that makes it great is a lot harder to study. It's a lot harder to study the little incidental things that only happen here and there than it is to study like, oh, why does a 4, 5, 6 chord progression work really well, or mixing techniques, or whatever it is, you know? So try to just dissect all the elements of a track that you like that's in this similar style, all the elements that are not the core musical elements, that are not the core mixing techniques. Study the things that they do to make the arrangement interesting. Study the things that they do to throw some incidental effects on there. Like, instead of just doing a riser here, could you have like put a drum fill or something? Could you have chopped up some of the synth layers? You know, that kind of thing. That's the next step for you, Common Beats, for sure. I did it on stream, but this is my beefing up, which is why it's helpful to get advice like this. Yeah, I think that's the next step for all of us, is like, you make the core track. Okay, how do you make that core track a great track? And it's literally just go steal things from references. Like, oh, they do this thing where they drop out the drums and they filter everything in that last bar, and then they do a vocal stutter on top of that. Whatever it is. Steal it from other tracks and apply it to yours. That is my major feedback for you, Common Beats. Thank you for submitting. I know you don't often submit, so I appreciate you being a long-time member and finally submitting something. Nice groove. Maybe have somebody from the community play guitar over that or something. That would be cool. Right, that's Moody 2K. Oh, the Busy Raccoon themselves submitted. That's great. Moody, you got a Spotify link. What is happening with Discord? Okay, this is Moody 2K with Always Here. Go support the artist. This is vlog music. Oh, okay. He changed after the first 30 seconds. Oh, these drums are so nicely mixed. Now where are we going? Cool synth sound. Just the spread of the hi-hat. It might be a little loud though. Good night, bot. I'll say absolutely perfect sound selection in this track. Oh, all right. awesome. I think pretty perfect sound selection. First of all, I think that is a very cool key situation in the beginning. Very cool intro. I love all the sounds in this. I think the groove, everything's great. Can't say much more than that. I think it's fantastic. The major thing that I would change about this track, however, is the arrangement, because what happens in the front end, we basically get an intro on the intro. I wonder how necessary it is to go from like an intro to another intro. I would say definitely still do the key change, but can you go right from that transition to this backbeat? Because we kind of are building momentum with a filtered backbeat in the first 30 seconds. And then we kind of wait. It's fine. You can keep it. I think it could go either way, but it might be more satisfying if we land on a key change with a backbeat, maybe a nice little splash crash on there or something. Psh. The other thing is, you do so much at the front end with switching things up that we never quite settle into the track. We switch things up. We're a minute in. We're getting this filtery thing. I was just getting settled. Then you introduce this. We still have no drums, this synth. But then what ultimately happens is once the backbeat comes in, it's like we're in that for like a whole minute. So could you instead maybe allow us to settle in a bit longer here at the beginning? Like, I don't see the purpose of this section where everything kind of drops out, because you could just go right into introducing the new synth or something. I don't know. There's just a lot of like switch ups and changes at the beginning, and then the back half, it's a 3-minute long track. Most of the switch ups and interesting things happen in the first minute, and then the last 2 minutes are basically like this. Notice how I just skipped ahead and it's the same thing? Basically 1 minute later. Those strings are nice though. So just think about that in terms of your arrangement for the next track. But these sounds are freaking fantastic. I love your transitions. I love your use of the vocal sample. I love the ambitious key change at the beginning. Good job, Moody2K. As usual, always bringing the vibes. Let's keep it going. I have like 100 windows open in chat. All right, we got 2 more tracks to go. Next one, the Busy Raccoon, a new channel member, if you all can believe it. Let's give a listen. How busy can that raccoon be? Silverback Arrington, I want to denormalize calling headphones cans with peace and love. But these are AI TM02. Another orchestral thing? These drums are not in time. Very busy making music. I like just like straight with that string line. Another orchestral track today. I cannot believe it. Oh, very cool. That ending kind of came out of nowhere. All right, very cool orchestral thing. I'm glad we're getting more orchestral music to review. I love it. villain entrance for sure. So I love, of course, incorporating synths into orchestral music. I think that's very cool. This aural ambient voice thing that's happening with this kind of arpeggiated bass line, or not arpeggiated, but dun, 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 dun. Very action movie-esque. But these taiko drums, or these toms, whatever they are, they start out fine, but then they're just not quantized. They're just not in time. Dun, 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 dun. I'm counting with that bass. These toms are just falling off time. So just make sure you just quantize these. They don't have to be perfectly in time. Actually, it makes it sound good if they're slightly off. But when I say slightly off, I mean like a point, like a millisecond or something, just to give them some spread. Because if you imagine a room full of people playing toms, we're not robots. But it's also not going to be off by more than a 30-second note, you know? And then this switch up here I think is great. Good tension building. I really love when people do just straight up quarter notes on percussion and then you have fast moving strings behind it. This, when we get to this hit here, this was kind of underwhelming, even though this swell is really good. That swell is really good. The thing that's missing from this drop is a very low bassy instrument just playing the root note of that minor chord. Either it's got to be a low double bass, just long and drawn out, or just some low brass or something, long notes. Because that's an arrival point and it doesn't feel like we've arrived. It feels like we're still flying over the top of it. That would be my feedback for that. Common Beats, thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the family time. Go Blackpool as usual. Thank you for hanging out with us today. But yeah, thanks for... These sounds are good. The mix is really good as well. So keep going with that. There's just a couple like little elemental things that I would change. It's a nice little stinger. I wonder like what was the purpose of the track, if it's like made for a piece of media or if you're just experimenting or just like making cues like this. But yeah, keep going. Happy to have you in the community, Busy Raccoon. Thanks for submitting this track. Y'all should go follow if you do like that orchestral music, which I know we've had a couple submissions today, which is very cool. Little sounds like that, you know, that's another example of the things that make stuff a little bit special. I'm just going to play that one more time. You know, that sound basically happens one time, right? Like it doesn't happen. It's not thematic throughout the whole piece, but that one time that it happens makes that moment really, really cool. Crush, crush, show yourself, crush, crush. Crush, crush, crush. Classic Paramore song. Okay. Adamgrad. Sounds Russian. Oh. Cool art. Almost like a synth reminds me of a Vangelis vibe. Very interesting sound on the drums. They almost sound a little bit far away. That sounds like an iPod scroll or something. Track in memory of the victims of the Chernobyl disaster. I got it. It's a Geiger counter. Good context. there. It could for sure have been bigger. That's what I've been waiting for. Nice, that was so cool. That little kind of alarm thing. Yep. Crush, thank you. I love it. There's like bits of sound design elements in here in addition to like really cool music. It's very dark. I really love what you did with the percussion. It just sounds, I know I said it kind of sounds far away. I think this percussion just sounds a little bit too centered. So I would probably spread some of these hits around and make it a little bit, bring it up in the mix a little bit. I love using the Geiger counter, although I would have used it a little bit less often, a little bit more here and there, a little bit less just running throughout. And you know, I don't know if it's just fresh on my mind because we've had a couple submissions today that were more cinematic and more orchestral, but I think adding some orchestral element to this, like some type of string section, could actually really benefit it. Because I think by the time we get to this point in the track, I'm wondering how can it get bigger, and the element that comes to mind are some just like sweeping strings and chords that make it just a little more cinematic. Not overbearing, don't overdo it, but I think that could be one element that could be added to make this end section a bit bigger, because I do think it could grow a bit beyond what it is right now. But very cool percussion. And there were things like, there was a couple moments where these crashes are coming in. I think you could do more with swells, risers, and downlifters and crashes to just kind of bring emphasis to these transitional sections for sure. But I think you did a good job of kind of depicting this sort of nuclear disaster, which is, I guess, of our modern time. It's not like an ancient disaster. It is kind of our modern time, and you use these synths that kind of harken back. The synths represent modernism, I guess, in music, but have been around long enough that they can still be retro. I hope that made sense. A violin is like classical, it's like timeless, right? But these synths represent us, our technologies growing. And like I said, they can also be considered retro, which of course, Chernobyl disaster happened years and years ago. When did the Chernobyl disaster happen? It happened in 1986. Yeah, so that's pretty much like right on with some of the birth of some of these synths. So it makes a lot of sense. Beautiful track. Synth art history, says Dick Strong. Yeah. That's gonna be it for today, folks. That's all our submissions. Thank you to everybody who did submit. I really appreciate it. And like I said earlier, we do this twice a month. So if you are a member and you haven't got a chance to submit yet, I do highly encourage you to submit, because we have a lot of fun on these streams. It's a good way to get some feedback on your track and also just get your track played on stream and maybe get some more eyes and ears on it. And let's see what else is going on. Let me just throw on some background music while we just chill and hang here. If you're not yet a member, becoming a member and joining the channel is the best way to support the channel and get something in return for yourself. So you can join for as low as $1.99 and become a part of our exclusive Discord community, which is a really fantastic community of music producers from all around the world. Very supportive community. We do lots of fun stuff over there, lots of good discussions on the Discord. Then at the VIP tier, you can get a free sample pack. So my Haze sample pack, which is normally $7 or $9, I forget. You can get that free with your membership, which is only $4.99. So it's kind of a no-brainer if you need some new sounds. More sounds and things to come. Please, everybody, get ready, because Beattober is coming faster than you can imagine. Stay tuned for that. I don't want to hype it up too much, but more details around that will be coming soon. If you can please go vote in the polls on my community tab on YouTube or on my Instagram story. Tell me what kind of apparel or merch you want. If your option is not there, send me a DM or put a comment on the post. It will help inform the next apparel drop, because there's going to be one surrounding Beattober. So please get ready for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you have ideas for Beattober related content, of course, we're going to be doing a weekly stream. I would love to bring on guests to help me like kind of review some of the beats for Beattober. I want to do prizes and giveaways or contests or whatever. But there's going to be a bigger cause around Beattober this year. So stay tuned for that, because it's very, very important. I hope you all enjoyed this stream. If you didn't watch this week's videos with the mood guitars, please go to the channel and watch that. Good video on sound selection. I talk a lot about my approach to sound selection in that tutorial that went out this past week. There's also a cool beat performance. And of course, follow me on Instagram, because I'm making lots of content exclusive to Instagram. Some funny stuff with Reels. I think Reels are going to be a bigger part of like my future content output and all that stuff too. So stay tuned for all that. We'll be back live on this channel on Tuesday with TAETRO Talks. We are doing a call-in show, so if you want to call in and talk about the creative side of being a home studio music producer, ask some questions, all that good stuff, I would love to hear from you. And yeah, do what you gotta do, my friends. More to come next week. Stay tuned. That's gonna be it. Thank you to everybody who submitted. Shout out to all the artists who are putting themselves out there, putting in the work, making cool music. You know, the whole point of this channel is that when there's more artists in the world is a better place. That's what it's all about. So thank you all for contributing to that, being artists and making the world a better place. Get ready. More things to come. Get excited. Connect over on Instagram, because I'm on there way more often than just straight up YouTube and uploads and all that stuff. So thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.